Hello and welcome to the Lost Media Chronicles, the show of which discusses various lost movies, music, art, you name it. This is a bit of a vlog video episode thingamabobler, and it's going to be a little bit long. So see, when I do these episodes of the Lost Media Chronicles, this show by nature is going to become dated, especially on a wiki that actively searches for stuff and finds new information, and to make a video update every single time something new is discovered, it's overwhelming and not to mention simply obnoxious, and also sometimes the information it doesn't require anyone to have to make a video about it. However, there have been a lot of updates, a lot of things that I got wrong in some of my past videos, a lot of things that need to be addressed in those videos as well, and I'm going to consider this to be something of a discussion episode. It's going to be very informal. I'm going to stutter a lot and probably go on a lot of tangents. This is not scripted. I have some notes to help me kind of sort of stay on topic, but that's it. Before I get too far into this, I wanted to address one other thing before Fred flies off. He's going to do this a lot. You're going to notice that about Fred whenever I do these types of videos, is that he doesn't like it when I talk for long periods of time, so he's going to kind of lash out a little bit. I'm probably going to edit that out or keep it in, I don't know yet. Anyways, so just something I wanted to acknowledge, because it's an issue that's going on with one of my new adventures in Vinyl Land. It's the Death Grips episode. Yes, I know there's some weird audio thing going on at the end. It wasn't like that when I initially uploaded it. I just got a copyright claim for a song I was using for the credits, and when I decided to try to remove the track, YouTube somehow completely destroyed the last minute or so of audio, so now it's like it loops the first minute of my video at the end of the video, and I have no idea why it's like that. It wasn't like that when I initially uploaded the video on the day of. So I have no idea what's going on with that. That's YouTube being fucking weird. And then when I tried to re-upload the video, it said that it was a duplicate and that I can't do that. So we're kind of stuck with it until I can get YouTube to fix that. Sorry, guys. I know it makes me look very unprofessional, and then there's still the additional issues that the video is having as well, with Death Grips fans being the crazy motherfuckers that they are. I guess I should have seen that coming, considering I'm reviewing Death Grips. And no, I'm not doing a Lost Media Chronicles on Death Grips. They have no Lost Media. Sorry, guys. I know a lot of you guys are requesting that, but it's not happening. So, let's go ahead and get this started. I'm going to divide this up into two different videos. There's going to be the first half, which is going to cover the first 25 episodes, and then the second half, which is going to cover the other 25, because there's 50 of these motherfuckers. And I'm going to probably end up swearing a whole lot, because that's what I do. It happens. Okay, so, the first episode was Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I got most of my facts correct on that. Most of them, but not all of them. The first thing that I did not really state is that the footage that was leaked to that Red Hot Chili Peppers movie was from the fan club, given to the fan club by the band, and that's all the footage that they want shown. I had no idea that was the case, and then some Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, told me that. It's like, you know, that was released by the fan club, right? And that was given to them by the band. So that actually tells me that the band has the rest of the footage of that documentary. Hi there, Fred. Anyways, moving on. On top of that, the footage, I didn't really talk about Anthony Kiedis' drug addiction at the time. And I didn't think it was important, but that actually kind of really tells you the big reason why it has never been made public is apparently Kiedis' drug addiction, which he had relapsed back in heroin use in 1995, after a bout of heroin use all the way throughout the 80s that he stopped in 91 and then started using again by 1995. when this album, or even I think it was as early as 1993, he had relapsed back into regular heroin usage. And what we're seeing is a lot of his antics, a lot of his drug-addled states of mind, and I don't think the band was overly fond of that. So, there's some more information based off of that alone. Episode 2, Fairy Log and Radio Plays, the Wizard of Oz episode. I kind of closed that episode off by saying that this was L. Frank Baum's huge passion project, and it was. And that once the movie, you know, was no longer making money and they had to shut that production down, he was in a deep depression, was actually not true. A Wizard of Oz fan came on and he gave me sources. L. Frank Baum was heartbroken by it, but he was actually not depressed by it. He actually sought out several more film ventures. As a matter of fact, there's some that he was doing even as late as 1914 before he passed away. He was still pretty active and still licensing off his Wizard of Oz property and making quite a bit of money off of that, even if he never quite paid off the expenses it took to run Fairy Log and Radio Plays. So I got that incorrect there. It's not really like a huge, terrible thing to get wrong, but it gives the wrong impression. L. Frank Baum didn't die a sad, penniless man. He was disappointed about Fairy Log and Radio Plays not working out, but it wasn't the end of the world for him. Armin Meiwes, and I talk about this a lot more in depth in the disclaimer before the version of the video that's now on my channel. This video was pulled by YouTube due to inappropriate content. And that video was also made when I was using a laptop that eventually got stolen from me. So that episode was lost for a while. A lost episode of the Lost Media Chronicles, if you will. And I go into a lot more depth about that later, how that ended up getting found. And I guess, just since I'm talking about videos and their issues and factual inaccuracies and whatnot, there weren't any inaccuracies in that, but I did notice that with my early videos regarding morbid footage and stuff like that, I kind of treat my audience like they're children who can't handle that. I know a lot of my audience members are, technically speaking, children, but, you know, like, I treat them like they're too sensitive to hear about it, and I give way too many warnings, and I guess, you know, the subject matter in and of itself should be the warning. It's something I've learned in future episodes. Zenhex. So, I did get one thing wrong here, was that I kind of made Zen, the guy who runs the site, I made him out to be some sort of conservative weirdo who hates liberals and stuff like that, and that's not the case at all. Actually, he identifies as libertarian, and he came forward and corrected me on that. So, I probably should have, like, inquired about that, and besides that, most of the information was really accurate. The ending was a little too long, but, you know, it's an early episode of the Lost Media Chronicles. There's a few hiccups that you get in all those early episodes, and Zenhex is no exception. Aside from that, it's considered one of my best episodes, at least as far as the early ones go. Not as highly regarded as Fairy Log and Radio Plays or the Jeff Buckley episode. Like, those two are still considered, like, the top tier Lost Media Chronicles episodes, but Zenhex is definitely considered one of the better ones because it talks about something that's not frequently covered. Richard Nixon, got my facts completely accurate on that one. I mean, I've had a few conspiracy theorists try to tell me that they know more than I do, or that they know more than the government does, but that's it. I've gotten that in all my videos that are related to anything that is connected to some sort of conspiracy, whether it be 9/11 or, I've gotten a few people actually talking about the Oklahoma City bombing, strangely enough, which has nothing to do with any of my videos, but 9/11, the moon landing, anything regarding that will get people talking like that. And then after that we got Kylie Minogue, and there's been a few recent developments, none of which has been talked about on the wiki. So the music video that featured her fully naked body, there was a lot of, questions about whether or not this video ever existed. We've got confirmation now that this video existed in this form. First off, the biography written by Sean Smith confirmed it. Apparently Sean Smith actually saw this version of the music video. I have not read this biography to confirm. I've been told that it's a poorly written biography to begin with. It didn't get its facts inaccurate, it's just that it's boring and dry in its delivery. And that's the problem with a lot of non-fiction books in general, is that they either try too much to sound like poetry, or they're just too dry. But it's poorly written in its tone, not so much as it's factual. Like, factually speaking, it's correct. So no one really challenged him on that, and even Wikipedia said that it's likely that he had access to this video, given the type of material that he was given access to. So allegedly, Sean Smith has seen this video. He doesn't own a copy, but he's seen it. But another person, a person who actually starred in the video, a person I didn't actually really mention but should have, Rutger Hauer, a famous actor, famous Danish actor, he has his own website, and he stated that there are 3 different versions of the video. The version that we see now, a version that's a little bit more risque, and then there's the version with Kylie's full frontal naked body. So the question is, why are people denying its existence? And it's probably because either Kylie had second thoughts on it, the record label had second thoughts, or it could have been due to obscenity laws in Australia, how strict they are, and just not wanting to cause any type of controversy. But, we're almost 20 years away from, that album, that song is almost 20 years old. I think it wouldn't be a sin to say that it exists. It doesn't necessarily mean it needs to come out, but it exists, and there's pretty strong evidence of it. And I was surprised, when I read back up on that these developments have happened, and nobody told me about it. So, the next episode, Thomas the Tank Engine. A lot of people were saying, why didn't you talk about Thomas and the Magic Railroad? Because we didn't think to. I mean, I kind of knew about it, but Trey was more interested in, the earlier stuff. And Thomas and the Magic Railroad, here's the thing, when it comes to these pieces of lost media, some of it is there's so much information on one particular item that to try to mix it in with everything else just completely, it distracts from that much more interesting story. So we were thinking of doing another video on it, and we just never got around to it. I talked to Trey, he's interested, but the thing is that Trey is kind of no longer going to be working on this channel. Which I'll get to talking to a lot more about, once I get to talking about Doctor Who, because I had people bringing up questions regarding that. But yeah, we didn't talk about Thomas and the Magic Railroad because it's got so much of a story behind it, so much regarding that movie, that you can't just talk about it in a video about other Thomas the Tank Engine stuff. It deserves its own video. Christine Chubbuck, here we go. I never did a disclaimer on this one, so I am not proud of this video at all. At all. Guys, and it's not just because of the angry people that thought that it was clickbait. First off, I probably should have properly titled the video. I probably should have put a better disclaimer at the beginning, and probably thought a little bit more. The thing is I was inexperienced at the time that video came out, and it pissed a lot of people off, because they thought I was just trying to get people to click on it because they thought it would contain the footage. And for a while it was the top thing that you would get if you searched for Christine Chubbuck. That thing would come up. So, And then on top of that, you know, I was using hi there, Fred. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause this. There was a fake version of the Christine Chubbuck suicide tape that came out, which a lot of people on the wiki are aware of, and it's been highly speculated. Is it fake? Is it not? I think it's commonly accepted that that video is fake. It's fake. So, yeah, it's not really a good episode, because I treat suicide like I'm walking on eggshells. A lot of people have done their little doctoral thesis on why that video fails, other than just being, you know, clickbait, quote unquote. And I just feel like it's one of my worst episodes. I'm not proud of it. I'm not going to remove it anytime soon because I'm not a revisionist. But it's probably my biggest mistake I've ever made on my channel. And if it weren't for that video, I'd probably have a lot more subscribers now than I currently do. If I had made it better, if I had made it more interesting, people probably would have latched onto my channel. But now people see my channel name and they automatically think there's that jerk off that tried to bait me into watching a Christine Chubbuck thing. I don't want to see his shit. Fuck him. You know? So there we go. It's not one of my favorite episodes, and I'm gonna have to just let it be what it is. So 9/11, that episode. Got my facts straight as far as I'm concerned, but one thing that people have pointed out, there's some people that really like how personal the episode is, but a lot of people are starting to, like, especially like the newer fans, they're pointing out saying, dude, no. You don't need to get that personal. We don't need to know these details about you. I spend like the last 10 to 15 minutes of that video just talking about my own personal experience with 9/11, and they think that there's no reason why I should have done that. Because all I'm doing is just trying to get attention, according to them. And I don't know. I mean, I did it as a personal story to kind of give you guys, like, because people who search for lost media, a lot of them have OCD, a lot of them have attachment to these morbid subject matters. I feel like it kind of gives people something to relate to. But other people don't feel that way. Other people feel like, no, you're just trying to get attention. You're trying to get people to feel sorry for you. And if you feel that way, that's up to you. But personally, I did it for the purpose of getting people to relate to my personal story, because that morbid stuff, it's a common thing on the wiki. It really is. Coldplay. Jesus Christ, out of all the episodes that, when people talk about the Lost Media Chronicles, nobody fucking gives a shit about this episode. Nobody says anything. I didn't get anything wrong, but nobody gives a shit. It was such an obvious 2 Beats Plus plug. And yeah, I know there's some people that are Coldplay fans on my channel, but they just remember that episode. They're like, it wasn't really necessary. Like, these are songs that the fan base doesn't even really care about. Like, why did you even bother? So, yeah, moving on from that one. Radiohead. So, this one I actually tried to do a video update about several times, and kept putting it off, and then eventually was like, okay, nobody cares now. So, the music video was found for that one. It was the first piece of media I helped get found, and to the best of my knowledge, it's the only one I've helped get found at all. So, Radiohead, the Letdown music video, was found by a user who I'm guessing is really good with HTML coding, and he noticed something a little strange about the web addresses. So he just started playing around with them on the Wayback Machine, and even on the current version of the video producer posted the video on his website, is what I'm saying. And somebody played around with the URL a whole lot, and it turns out that the producer never removed the video off of his channel. He just hid it really well, so that way no one could find it. So, someone was able to find it, they downloaded it, it got shared, and now it's considered the official video. So, does that mean it was ever really lost? Well, it depends on how you look at it. On top of that, we got even more Radiohead lost media, mostly on a Friday type of stuff, like the early demos and stuff like that. Someone leaked a longer version of what was originally the first On a Friday demo tape. And then after that was leaked, it was discovered that there was another On a Friday demo tape that Radiohead has never mentioned, that no fan really knew existed, and that somebody only pointed out because they just so happened to remember seeing it exist. And they remembered certain details about it, and they posted it on Discogs, and now it's considered a release that's never been found. And then, of course, like a close friend of the band confirmed that it exists, but he's never gonna let it see the light of day because apparently it's terrible. So just like the first Switchfoot EP, basically, it's never gonna see the light of day for the same reasons. Or the first Ani DeFranco demo tape of the early Red House Painters stuff. You know, it's considered embarrassing, which only makes us want to see it even more. Episode 12, Rent, didn't have any factual inaccuracies with that. Besides people wanting to know more about my Arcade Fire musical, which I'm not getting into. Felix the Cat, I just had people asking why I never mentioned the Felix in his Puppet Pals show, whatever the heck that was called. Because we don't even know if it existed, and it only ever had artwork released for it. That's not really lost media, and on top of that, it's not interesting. So no, I didn't talk about it. Metropolis, didn't get any facts wrong with that. Apollo 11, I had some conspiracy theorists tell me I got some facts wrong with that. Nothing wrong. Rite of Spring, nothing. Here we go. Okay, so jumping all the way ahead to episode 17. Corino Cristiani. Apparently I really suck at pronouncing anything in any Argentinian words or any Spanish words. And on top of that, I kept calling things Argentinian. Instead, it's supposed to be called Argentine. Argentinian means you're a person from Argentina. Otherwise, something that is from Argentina is called an Argentine. So, I guess there's a big problem with that, and it's a bit of a pet peeve to people from Argentina, and probably grammar Nazis as well. The SpongeBob April Fool's episode. Oh my god, the number of people that got upset about that. Dude, it was an April Fool's episode. I know you guys wanted me to cover the darn thing, but Jesus. Like the people that I'm unsubscribing and never watching your shit again. It's like, dog, you can't take a joke. Like, seriously. And then the next episode, Jeff Buckley, which used to be a lost episode, and then I reposted it because it took a lot of work to have to, like, rework it into something that can be posted on YouTube without being pulled, because Sony likes to really bank out on Jeff's stuff. So it was just a matter of finding the time and finding the willpower to really do it, because it was a pain in the ass. It's really hard to try to like edit something when all the original files that you had for that video are now gone. You just have the one video because you have to edit around stuff that you can't really like work with all too well, because that episode took me a while to get all of the things that Sony was claiming copyright on, and even then it still had copyright claims on it, but at least it was able to stay on the channel. Here we go, the official episode for A Day with SpongeBob SquarePants. So I've had a lot of people comment on that darn thing, said, dude, you know it's fake, right? Yeah, I know now that it's fake. When I made the episode, it wasn't proven fake yet. People were still very actively looking for it. But I'm not gonna, like, I don't really like littering my videos with annotations and explanations and stuff like that. I don't want to do commentaries either. But yeah, it's fake. It's been proven fake. We've known it's fake for a while now, like several months. Like, they discovered it on the Lost Media Wiki. It's not real. And people just stopped giving a shit after that. So, there you go. The Prince episode. I had a couple of Prince fans say that they wanted that thing to be more comprehensive. Like, really? Dude, you wanted a, 30-minute long episode where I talk about every single thing and it gets repetitive and I keep saying the same thing over and over again? He didn't release it because he's a perfectionist. That's basically what it comes down to for most of Prince's unreleased stuff. So, bite me. I know a lot of this is me kind of getting a little vain at commenters, but, Pokemon. When am I making a second Pokemon episode? Because there's still a shit ton of Pokemon stuff, and especially a lot of anime-based Pokemon stuff. Eventually I'm going to get around to it. It's not that interesting to me. I did it to kick off Video Game Month. That's about it. Okay. So, the next episode, I have no mouth and I must scream. No factual inaccuracies, but, people really liked the skit in that one. So, when people are all like, that was a really good skit, it fit the themes of the episode, I got a little bit overzealous, which leads into Wolfenstein. Oh dear, that fucking episode. So, we had fun making that video. We really did, and, that's the thing, is that sometimes we're just doing these skits for fun. Because it's fun doing these elaborate things, but it also referenced something from 2 Beats Plus, which only a fraction of my viewership understood or cared about at the end. Fred hosted it, and some people find Fred's Italian-American voice to be annoying. On top of that, the audio mixing got screwed up by YouTube, in this case, because I made sure that all the levels were correct. I mean, sometimes I just get lazy and I'm just like, I can hear myself kinda, that works, whatever, and then I post it. I don't do that anymore, but that's the way I used to do it, a whole lot. But with this particular episode, I was like, no, I don't want anything drowning anything out. I want this video to be perfect and great. And then, of course, we render it and I listen to it on several different types of speakers to make sure, it's good, and then we post it on YouTube, and YouTube's all like, yeah, the gunfire's louder than everything, Fred can barely be heard over the music. Why? Why does YouTube do this to people's videos? Why does it think that that's the way it needs to be done? No, it should be posted the way the video editor made the video, and in most cases, that's the way it does it, but it renders things strangely in a lot of cases. It's fucking annoying. So I got a lot of people complaining about that. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you want me to do. YouTube likes to crap all over everything sometimes. And then, of course, the skits a lot of people found unfunny and derivative, and it's like, who cares? Just get to the point. Okay, fine. So I never did it again. Anyways, the next episode, Kirby Air Ride, I got a couple of things wrong there. The debug menu, all of the stages that are reachable on debug menu, they're only there for testing purposes. They did not leave any early material in the game at all. And I tried to lead the viewer to believe otherwise, because I thought it was otherwise, and I guess, no, that's not the case. The other thing I learned, I can actually thank She Says a whole lot for this, is that, more than likely there's nothing outside the boundaries. I said there was, and then ever since I've started to get into Boundary Break and I find out what happens when you zoom things out, he still hasn't done Kirby Air Ride, so we don't know what's actually outside the bounds, but there's more than likely just nothing there, guys. There's a reason why your character can't go that far, because there's nothing out there. So, yeah, I got my hopes up over nothing on that episode for Kirby Air Ride. And that's about it for this part. I'll be posting part 2 shortly, and I gotta do a couple of jump cuts because of the crazy idiot bird, and then, of course, weird sounds I was hearing, so, see ya.